Hi, this is Alcan, and welcome back to my channel. I'm in what was Michelle's room. That's Junior in the background. Say hi, Junior. Yeah. Anyway, seems that Judge Enron and Letitia Jane got a nice spanking from the courts of appeals. They were trying to notify a $175 bond so that Letitia James can seize all these Trump properties. They failed again. Here's the funny thing is, they don't want Trump to do business in New York. He had to find a bond issuer in California to deal with this, but then, they start making unnecessary stupid motions and noises and stuff. And they got sucked pretty bad. I just want to point out one other thing before I read you what happened. Remember when Judge Enron said that Mar-a-Lago was worth $18 million? They had a video on YouTube, ironically, about Mar-a-Lago, and they were talking about the history. The building was owned by the Post family, the Post cereal family, yeah. I forgot the lady's name. It became a landmark before Trump bought the building in 1985 for $10 million. $10 million in 1985. And he says that Mar-a-Lago is worth $18 million to maybe $25 million. Why is he quoting 1980 through 1990 prices? Maybe that's what it was back then. It would be worth if we resold it right away. Forbes magazine came out and it said the property is worth $350 million. Other interested party says it could be worth $725 million. I know Trump said it could be worth $1 billion because it's a landmark building. It's also the house of a former president of the United States, and it was the Eastern White House back in the day. Something that Miss Post wanted a future president to be in that building. And plus, if you add the furniture and an artwork from the Vatican that's in Mar-a-Lago, plus a membership in the apartments, yeah, it would top $1 billion. So Enron needs his head examined. I'm sorry to say this. Probably the first thing they need to find out if he's in 2024 or is he in 1990, 1985, because the building is not worth $18 million today. It is worth over $350 million to $1 billion, depending who you talk to. So, that's probably one of the reasons why they reduced the bond, because they think he's loco and en coco, you know what I mean? Well, let's see what happened here. This is from Newsweek. The writer who wrote this was Kate Plummer, and it's titled Eileen Alba mocks Judge Enron after Donald Trump bond win. Yeah, he lost big. Looks stupid. Well, that was his doing. Anyway, says Donald Trump's lawyer Alina Alba has mocked Judge Arthur Enron. By the way, he was harassing a woman in the gym on video. Nice guy, huh? Over his supposed understanding of Trump's bond in his New York civil fraud case. Haba, who is also a Trump legal spokesman or person, reacted despite the judge allowing the Republicans' $175 million bond provided by the California-based Knight Specialty Insurance Company, which is KSIC, in lieu of his fine and appeal. New York Attorney General Letitia James, prosecuting, had requested that the bond be invalid because The company was not regulated by the state insurance department, and because it had never been before written a surety bond in New York or in the prior 2 years of any adjudication. The bond was requested after Enron in the February found Trump, his sons, Donald Jr. and Eric, and the Trump Organization liable for a scheme in which the value of the Trump network and assets were unlawfully inflated. Yeah, right. To obtain more favorable business deals. Trump was fined $454 million, but this amount plus interest was put on pause, providing he secured a bond to appeal. Trump has denied all wrongdoing in the case. Despite Enron's ruling in Trump's favor of the bond, Haba spoke to Fox News' Sean Hannity, saying that the judge has been suggesting in court that the bond may not be secured because the market changes could devalue it if it was in cash. Really? If you put $1 in your bank account, unless they take out fees, it's going to stay $1. If you put $10, it's going to stay $10. If you put in $100, it's going to be $100. So $175 is still going to be $175. Unless they take out fees, it's still going to be the same. I don't even know if it has interest or not. This is how ridiculous these people have gotten. To tell me how hard it is for me to keep my face straight in the moment, Sean, you can't make this up, she said. This case should have been in the commercial division. They had no business being in the civil division in front of a judge that today was trying to innovate it or knock out any bond and doesn't understand that cash is green. Whatever that means. She added that cash couldn't be traded and called Enron's behavior a disgrace. Earlier, speaking to reporters in the hallway outside Trump's separate criminal hush money trial, Haba, who was herself garnished criticism about her court performance while defending Trump, has made similar claims. She told the media Enron doesn't even understand the basic principle of finance. I guess he failed economics in high school. I didn't. I failed English, but I didn't fail economics. Sorry. Donald Trump added that he, Enron, challenged the bonding company that may be the bonding company that was no good. Well, they're good, and they also have $175 million of collateral, my collateral. You know, they gave the banks and stuff in New York a hard time after the $454 million bond. That's why it was reduced. And I'm sure they're being harassed by people everywhere, so they had to go to a California company. Anyway, Newsweek contacted Enron's office by email to comment on the story. Probably didn't hear back. I wonder why. But a source with James' office told Newsweek via email that Trump has conceded to the Attorney General's demand to resolve bond-related concerns. Yeah, right. This put the bond argument in a different light, as James has seemingly managed to pin down Trump's money in more precise terms. Another provision of the deals agreed by Enron includes $175 million in collateral will stay as cash and will not be swapped for mutual funds or any financial instrument. Cash means cash. The money cannot go anywhere else like a lockbox. Something I wish New York City Transit had. Trump and KSIC will provide monthly account statements reflecting $175 million in cash to James' office and the court. The agreement between Trump and KSIC cannot and will not be amended without approval from the court. KSIC will submit to the jurisdiction of New York Supreme Court in New York County, will waive its right to move a case to federal court or any other jurisdiction, and will officially designate an agent of the proceeds in New York. That means that KSIC, though it's based in California, will officially designate someone who will or is able to accept legal services on the behalf of New York. So the Trump attorney, Christopher Kiss, previously told Newsweek by email, despite another flaw and desperate protest by the Attorney General, President Trump is pleased that the court determined that the $175 million he posted in cash is worth $175 million, and the bond form in use in New York court system for a century is in fact acceptable. A former federal prosecutor, Neiman Romani, and the president of the West Coast Trial Lawyers law firm told Newsweek by phone that the decision surprised him. Basically, Trump puts up the cash, and frankly, it's even better than a bond, Romani said. As long as he keeps the money in the account, there's nothing Letitia James can say or do. Her hands are really tied here. In other words, yes, they lost. They were trying to get this bond notified so she could seize the properties, both her and Judge Enron. And they both lost. They said that they had a victory. No, they did not have a victory. In fact, they had to come up with a settlement because they weren't getting nowhere, because the appellate court was not going to rule in their favor. I'm sorry. It's someone Shark Tank says the adults are in the room, and these two clowns acting like juvenile delinquents. So they didn't get their way. That's what happened. So I'm guessing it's because they reduced the bond because they don't believe Judge Enron or Letitia James' account of this situation, despite the fact that they had a victory in court. Because if they believe these two jokers, that $454 million bond would have stand. Instead, it's the $175 million bond stance. That's a court terminology for that. They ain't going nowhere. We ruled. This is what it is. If you don't like it, Letitia, that's too bad. So there will not be a Letitia James building anytime soon. That was a former Trump property. So this is Al Kane saying so long for now, and don't forget to stop.